Look, you don't have to wait anymore. He's not coming back.
Have to see Hachiko. He may not be able to understand the old man's words, he just believes that his persistence will definitely be able to wait until his master shows up. Park's wife sold the house to avoid being presumptuous and decided to leave the place that made him sad. Sad. Hachiko was adopted by Parker's daughter, but he was absent all day long. On this day, he took advantage of his owner's carelessness and slipped out, but he didn't know the way to the station. He had to walk all the way along the railroad tracks, take a break when he was tired, and then move on. But the fork in front of him stumped him. Therefore, based on his feelings, he chose one to continue on the road. Perhaps God guided him to choose the right one. When he came back to that familiar street, I guess he was happy. He was so happy even walking down the street. When Hachiko arrived to the train station again, everyone around him showed a surprised expression. They couldn't believe how he did it. Hachiko then came to the flower bed, looked closely at the people coming and going, hoping that familiar figure would reappear. When the professor's daughter and son-in-law arrived at the station, they found Hachiko in the distance. Sure enough, he came here. They were full of worries and distress. Although Hachiko was in love and didn't want to leave, her husband and wife forced him to take him home in order to take better care of her. However, Hachiko was listless all day long. He didn't eat or drink for several days. The faint sound of a whistle in the distance caught his attention. He slowly ran to the front door and looked anxiously in the direction the sound was coming. In the end, her daughter was also moved by Hachiko. She decided to let go, give her freedom, and let her do whatever she wants. Whatever she wants. When the door was open, Hachiko licked Lady Tian's hand as if to express his gratitude. After taking a look back, he ran toward the station. Since then, Hachiko has become a unique sight in the station. Every day they arrive at the station on time and wait for the owner to return. When they are hungry, they go to the neighborhood to find something to eat. At night, they sleep under an abandoned train. Time flies, time passes, year after year. Every day they arrived at the station on time. Hachiko is still waiting tirelessly. From spring to fall, flowers fall, wind and sun, extreme heat and cold. None of these can wipe out his will and his heart. He still holds on to his beliefs. Time is like spending time in vain, and it just came to an end. 10 years have passed in a blink of an eye, and of this age, dogs are already in their twilight years. Now Hachiko has long since lost his energy, and his movements have slowed down a lot, but the only thing that hasn't changed is that he's still considered today to wait for his master. On this day, Park's wife came back to pay respects. Passing by the station, she found the elderly Hachiko. She saw his eyes blurry and full of signs of time. He who has never liked dogs also was completely moved by Hachiko. Perhaps people have slowly forgotten about Parker, but Hachiko has not always been convinced that his owner will come back to hug him again. On this day, they waited here together for Park to have heavy snowfall at night. Suddenly, a train passed by Hachiko. The elderly man got up and ready to go to the station. Fall to drag him his heavy pride and struggling to move forward, and Hachiko slowly appeared outside the station. Every step of the way, I tried so hard to climb up to the stair, extremely familiar Calais lying there quietly waiting, with Muddy Eyes still watching the door, powerlessly watching the passersby, until the closed door never opened again. At this point, Hachiko seemed to have a dream. He dreamed that his owner was shouting at him. They walked together, coming the owner to find work, and hugged each time they returned, and the bits and pieces together. However, this dream never woke up again, and Park from Paradise was probably looking forward to meeting Hachiko again and continuing their unfinished story.